Good morning, metalheads, and welcome to, I believe it's the 30th episode of Metal Sanctuary. And today I'm going to do the top 10 metal albums released in the year 1980. Before I did the research on when some of these records came out, there was already a few I knew I was going to put on here. And then some of the records I thought came out in 1980 actually weren't till about maybe like 81, 82. So I quickly discovered that the albums that I knew, the ones that I had listened to, there weren't a whole lot for me to choose from. So it made it easier. So I don't have any honorable mentions on this. It's just 10 albums. So let's get right to it. At number 10, a album that I actually listened to for the first time yesterday. A band called Budgie, which is spelled Budgie. Their 1980 release, Power Supply. I wasn't really familiar with any of their full records. I knew about this band primarily because of a couple songs that Metallica covered, probably most notably the song Bread Fan, which they have on their Garage EP and also on the Seattle show from their box set, 1989. I would probably describe Budgie's style, at least on this record, as being like a combination of early Judas Priest, a little bit of Saxon, some Deep Purple kind of Uriah Heep type influence there. Three-piece band, at least on this record. Not a band that was part of the new wave of British heavy metal, simply because they started putting out records a few years before the actual new wave of British heavy metal movement started, which was between like about 78 and 80 as far as debut records from the bands that would be in that era. Well, nonetheless, a pretty good record, really good riffs, early British style vocals, really good leads. At number 9, Def Leppard's debut, On Through the Night. A lot of people probably most associate them with their later albums like Hysteria and Pyromania and the such. So go back and listen to this record and their second record, High and Dry, and definitely more of a new wave of British heavy metal band. Really good guitar work and just a really solid record. Probably my favorite Def Leppard record. At number 8, yet another British band, Saxon. They put 2 albums out in this year. Wheels of Steel, which is the one that I put up here, and they also put Strong Arm of the Law. I prefer Wheels of Steel just a little bit more. That's just my taste. You could really go with either one of those. Saxon, a really, really good band. They would get a little bit heavier on their later releases in the 90s and so forth. Number 7, yet another British band, Diamond Head, Lightning to the Nations, which I believe is also their debut. And a good many of these songs covered by Metallica as well. Helpless, Am I Evil, probably their most 2 well-known songs covered by Metallica. If you listen to the early demos from Metallica, James Hetfield's definitely trying to incorporate a new wave of British heavy metal vocal style, and eventually it would change when they recorded Kill 'Em All. At number 6, again British band, Judas Priest, British Steel. This is the album that really kind of got them more of a mainstream breakthrough success, especially outside of the UK. In the United States, songs like Breaking the Law, Living After Midnight. The meat of this album, really, though, songs like Rapid Fire, Metal Gods, Steeler, The Rage, Grinder. So a lot of those songs they play live. Number 5, a non-British band, a band that had, this is not their debut, German band Accept, I'm a Rebel. Love Accept. I would probably say Metal Heart's probably my favorite Accept record, but just a really heavy record. Number 4, going back to the British bands again, Motorhead, probably their most well-known song, maybe not necessarily a record, but most well-known song, Ace of Spades, that record coming out. At number 3, maybe not a completely British band, but definitely a well-known British singer, Ozzy Osbourne's solo debut, Blizzard of Oz, which gave a majority of the world their first exposure to Randy Rhoads. Songs obviously like Crazy Train and Mr. Crowley, probably the most well known, but you got Suicide Solution, No Bone Movies, I Don't Know. At number 2, Black Sabbath's Heaven and Hell, the first record to showcase Ronnie James Dio in the band. Songs like, obviously the title track, Heaven and Hell, but you also got songs like Neon Nights, Children of the Sea. At number 1, another debut, and what I consider to be the top debut metal album, which was on another one of my videos, yet another British band, a part of the new wave of British heavy metal, Iron Maiden's debut record, with Paul Di'Anno on vocals, Stratton on guitars, along with Dave Murray, Steve Harris, and Clive Burr. The first album, the first band to really come up with a actual metal mascot that would, really portray on all the records and then be on the live shows. Songs like Sanctuary, Running Free, Transylvania, the title track, Iron Maiden as well. These are my top 10 for the year 1980. I'd like to hear what your top 10 would be. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. Also, I'm still kind of hoping to be able to get the Ask Me Anything video. I've only still got one question, so if you can think of a question you'd like me to answer, feel free to put it in the comments below. As always, stay metal, and God bless.